What's up, Lantern fans? It's the Emerald Enthusiast, back with another Green Lantern collectible review. This time, I'll be looking at the McFarlane Toys DC Direct Silver Age figure of Green Lantern Hal Jordan. Let's have a look at the packaging. On the bottom front, it says Green Lantern, and this is intended for ages 14 and up. A digital collectible comes included with this figure. On the side, it says Green Lantern, the Silver Age, and we get a partial window on the opposite side, as well as a QR code on the bottom. On the top of the package, we get a partial window. As you can see here, there's product information on the bottom. On the back, we get a reproduction of the Green Lantern 80th Anniversary Super Spectacular. This is the Matt Taylor 1950s variant cover. The front of the package features a very large window, and I'm thankful that the figure is clearly visible. However, I wish that less space were devoted to these accessories. The trading card and digital scratch-off card are located behind the figure, as is the peg base, and we see the Green Lantern Corps symbol on the bottom front. And with no further ado, let's bust open this package and see what's inside. Here's the inner cardboard tray with the peg base and the trading card. And this scratch-off card contains the code that you will need to redeem your digital collectible. Here's a look at the Hal Jordan render. And what is necessary to redeem your digital collectible is to download the McFarlane digital app onto your Mac or PC, open up an account if you don't already have one, and then enter in the code from the scratch-off card. Once I own a few of these, I'll probably do a separate video on the things that you can do with your digital collectibles on the McFarlane site. However, for now, let's get back to the figure and accessories. Here's a look at the figure, free of the outer packaging, but still bound to the inner plastic. Now let's have a look at the accessories, and here we see these two energy effects, and these go over the fists. We have seen these before, such as with the Parallax figure, although I do like the shading on these better than many of the others that we have seen previously. And we also get this gripping hand, and that works with the personal power battery. And then we get this open hand. And here we see the personal power battery. And I have the same issues with this that I have with the other batteries. I like the translucent plastic, but the handle does not move, and the handle is also too large. So I really wish that McFarlane would fix this issue with future Lantern figures. And here's a look at the trading card. I put it in a penny sleeve and top loader for safekeeping. And on the back, we get this brief bio of Hal Jordan. And last but not least, we get this circular peg base for the figure, and it says McFarlane Toys Digital. I appreciate that we got this base, but I really wish that it would have been adorned with the Green Lantern Corps symbol. And here we see Hal Jordan in all of his Silver Age glory, free of the package and ready to rumble. This figure is certainly an improvement over the previous McFarlane Green Lantern Hal Jordan figure that was released in the 2-pack with the Dawnbreaker. However, I still think that there are areas that could have used improvement. So let's take a closer look at the loose details now. Let's have a look at the lower body now, and the boots are very impressive. I like the color choice as well as the sculpting at the top, and there's plenty of detail on these. I also appreciate the articulation, and I'll cover articulation later. I really like these smooth, glossy black sections. This type of texturing reflects the Silver Age better than an armored design. Once again, we get this rubbery piece around the hip area, and that aids with the articulation. My only issue is that the legs look slightly too long for the torso, or perhaps the torso is too short for the legs, but either way, there's a minor mismatch there, and it is noticeable. Here's a close-up of the torso, and you can instantly tell that this is a Silver Age inspired costume because the green section is a singlet style design. The Green Lantern chest symbol is just paint. It's done well, but I would have preferred a little bit of sculpting. Hal is less muscular here than he's been depicted the last 30 years or so, but I think that's accurate to the Silver Age. And if you haven't read Green Lantern in a while, Hal has actually gone back to this look in the latest volume of Green Lantern, written by Jeremy Adams with pencils by Zermanico. Here's a close-up of the arms, and they're less defined than we're used to seeing with McFarlane figures. However, I think that's accurate to the time period. The figure has these butterfly joints in the shoulders, and that really aids the articulation. I would have preferred the tops of the gloves be sculpted, but that's a very minor criticism. And now let's take a closer look at the ring. Here is a close-up of the ring, and it's not perfect, but it is definitely an improvement on some of the rings that we've seen so far in the DC Multiverse line. The color choice is appealing, and the Green Lantern symbol is visible in the center of the ring, so I really appreciate that. And even though the paint job isn't perfect, I have to give McFarlane credit for giving the ring a little extra paint on each side to look like a ring that has been slid over a finger. Now let's have a look at the head sculpt, and there is very little to criticize here. This is extremely well done. The skin tone looks good. The edges of the mask have been sculpted. The paint on the eyes is very precise. The expression is very fitting for Hal Jordan, and look at all of this exact sculpting work on the hair. You can see the individual strands. That is very impressive work. I really like the paint color on the mask as well as the hair. And here's a look at the head sculpt from behind. There's not much more that we could expect. This is really spectacular work. Here are the energy effects placed on the figure's fists, and there is nothing technically wrong with these. I do like the overall look, but these are reused accessories, and I would have preferred something new for this figure. Here is the figure next to the DC Multiverse Sinestro. These scale well together since Sinestro should be taller than Hal Jordan. And this also makes me realize that we need a Silver Age Sinestro figure. Here is the figure next to the McFarlane DC Multiverse Hal Jordan from the Dawnbreaker 2-pack. And as you can see, there is much different texturing here. This is a more armored design. Although the 2-pack figure has its own charm, the Silver Age figure is clearly an upgrade. Here is the figure with the open palm hand. You can't see me. In terms of articulation, we get the midfoot hinge in the feet. There are ball joints in the ankles, and that gives you plenty of posing options. There are double jointed knees, and you can get this figure into a deep running pose, as you can see here. The figure can kick forward this far. And with these ratchet joints in the hips, the figure can do a full split. So that is very impressive. And the figure steps back considerably, and that's very helpful if you'd like to get the figure into a good ring-slinging pose. There's rotation at the waist and swiveling in the upper torso. The figure can crunch forward this far, and you can also get it to rock back this much, and that's very helpful if you'd like to have your figure in a flying pose. There's rotation at the wrists as well as backward and forward movement. There are double jointed elbows, and that will allow you to fold the figure's arm in half, so that is very impressive. There's a bicep swivel, Mine's a little tight, but there we go, as you can see. And that will help you get the figure into a variety of poses. These butterfly joints are extremely cool. As you can see, you can get the arms to do a 360 at the shoulder joints, and you can get Hal in the big power pose with the full wingspan here. You can rotate the arms backward, and that is very impressive. As far as the head sculpt goes, the head moves easily side to side. There is a considerable amount of tilting, and the head moves up and down easily. So McFarlane did an outstanding job with the articulation on this figure. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed this review, and please tell all of your friends about this channel. I would certainly appreciate it. And remember to catch me on Multiverse Musings, the vidcast, which is the home of the Emerald Echo podcast, where we cover the adventures of all of your favorite ring slingers. And I'll be back with more Green Lantern content soon. But until we meet again, this has been the Emerald Enthusiast, and thanks for watching.